Welcome to Big Red Leads. I'm Big Red, getting you and your business back to the black. Hope everyone enjoyed their holiday. I posted a little message on a few social media places, simply talking about, like I said, I hope you enjoyed your holiday. If you celebrate the holiday, some people do not. Some of my family doesn't. You got together and you actually discussed some real things that are going on, and some things that you can actually improve upon as far as just family generational wealth and building a legacy for your family. Like I said, we here at Big Red Leads, we work for the last name, not the first. So the work that we're putting in is laying down the foundations for our families. It's not just for quote unquote Big Red. It's actually for Big Red Leads. It's, like I said, so one of those things and those discussions that took place, let's say Thursday, at my family compound, which was very important, was and vital, was we were simply discussing and talking about tax codes. Sounds like, like sounds boring, but when you really get into it, it breaks down a lot of things when it comes to our own businesses, as well as what we're trying to do as a family unit. So what I'm simply suggesting to everyone here is I want you to actually think about the times when you actually have enough of your family there to make a decision and actually start appointing each other and putting each other in positions to win and work on and actively do some of the things that are going to take place when you are building a conglomerate, if you will, together, an empire, if you will. So what really goes into that? I want everybody to really think about what it is that you're trying to accomplish. If you are trying to build an enterprise, you're starting from scratch. Okay? Obviously, it takes capital to get started. It takes capital to put people in positions so that they're actually getting paid to do the work. And it also takes a foundation and a mission statement and an ideal of what it is and a vision of what we're trying to accomplish together. What does that mean for you and your family? What does that mean for you and your friends? If you're starting out anything, you need to understand that there are certain things that are going to need to take place before you start building. It's like a surveyor going and checking and looking at the land before they actually start, digging and building and moving the earth and moving ground and laying down a foundation for your building. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have to start putting these things in place. So you need to think about somebody in the administrative department. People who are actually going to be overseeing the day-to-day aspects of your business. Now, if you're doing this with family, I'm breaking it down as if we're doing this with just family. You need capable, competent people over the administrative department. That's one section. You need people who know when it comes down to breaking down of, some people call them bean counters, accounting. You need people who are over the accounting department. So you need to make sure that there's somebody in the family who's capable of doing that, if they're not already a licensed CPA. Okay? You also need sales, advertising, and marketing. Some companies, or a lot of companies that I know, these are 3 different departments. Advertising, marketing, and sales are 3 totally different departments. Okay? You also need somebody who's going to bring in standards or create standards or SOPs, if you will, standard operating procedures. This is what we're going to do, and we follow this to the blueprint. So that way, when you do hire new employees who may not necessarily be family, or you're bringing these people in, they have something to work from. Okay? Then you need to go, and you also need somebody who's going to be, this also goes back to the administrative department. You need people who are going to be able to break down, find out what licenses, what permits that you need. All these things come with all of this, like once you start putting all this together, it's not as simple as just having a conversation. Now, me and my family members, we've been having these conversations for a while now, so we're already in some of our family is already in major action steps to some of the things that we're trying to build for our empire. Okay? These are all things that you need to think about when you are starting an enterprise, when you are starting a business, when you are, even if you don't do this with family, understand one person is not going to do all these things. And if somebody says that they can do all this by themselves, one, you're a very rare bird, and you need to be teaching this to everyone. You need to be teaching this to as many people as possible, because understand, at some point you're going to need somebody to add time to your day, whether that be a secretary, a virtual assistant, someone to help out with your day to day, so that you're not bogged down by the quote unquote menial task, so that you can work on the bigger projects that are to come when it comes to building your empire. Like, share, definitely subscribe to the channel. You need people in positions that can handle all these different departments and factor in the fact that just because you're family doesn't mean you just put somebody, because your aunt is good at bingo, you don't put her in charge of accounting, okay? You need to put qualified people in these positions who are actually going to get the job done. Because understand, from the moment that you guys make your first sale or complete your first deal, you are in business. And you need to treat it as such. Yes, it's family, we love each other, all that good stuff. But when it comes to business, if someone is not capable of doing a job, I will fire my mother if she is not capable of doing a job. Do you understand what I'm saying? If she's not competent in that position that is either being given to her or positioned to her because of a skill set that she has. She's not doing the job, she's got to go. This is why a lot of times people say friends and family don't mix, or friends and money don't mix. That's very true. But if you have people who have a real accord when it comes to the actual business itself, you have a winning formula for success. If you have people who've actually been in their own storms when it comes to business, or maybe yet have had their own business, that wealth of knowledge, that well of knowledge, needs to be presented, whether you're having quote unquote official meetings or sitting down to dinner, like I said, for the holiday. As many people who are associated with this venture need to be in a place where you guys can all communicate it as one, and not necessarily over the phone or through a Zoom call. Okay? Now, I'm putting this out there because this time of year seems to be a time where a lot of people can't even get over the fact that, well, you're not eating meat, or you're not doing this, or you're not doing this. A lot of times, family meetings, it's always some dysfunction. And you need to look at something bigger than your quote-unquote yearly argument with your uncle, who is not good with money, or you need to you guys need to open up your horizons to the opportunities that are right there in front of you. If you can really master this and get an understanding of, you can't be over everything. And someone who has a skill set in something that you are not really good at, per se, you need to listen to them. Their voice needs to be heard when it comes to building something like this. We're not talking about some small little rinky-dink project. We're talking about building something that's going to create something that will essentially retire your grandparents, retire your elders in the family, and put the youngins, the young ones, the young family members, the cousins, the nieces, the nephews, the children, put them in position to where if they choose to work for the family business, It's a winning formula that they can bring in their own ideas by the time they are able to take over those executive positions. I want you guys to start looking at stuff like this. We got another big holiday coming up. Now, some of my family, including myself, we don't necessarily celebrate that particular holiday, but it all makes sense because it's all encompassing on how we are getting things done and moving the ball forward when it comes to the empire that is our legacy, our last name. Big Red Leads is me. I had a couple other LLCs and a C corp before this, and then I had an S corp before that. Understand, I've been in business for a while, but the thing is, I've never really put all these things together and actually talked to a big chunk of my family about these things. They've all done their own things. I have family members who worked in accounting. I have family members who are quote unquote attorneys. I have family members who, like, they are where they are, and this is what they've mastered, and I'm going to listen to their expertise when it comes to their expert advice when it comes to the department, especially if we're talking about them being a part of this enterprise. So put all your egos aside. Understand that if you believe that your family's pretty smart, you believe your family's pretty bright, why can't we pull our resources together and create something massive that can not only change the world, but change the world for our families? Now we're talking about a dynasty. Now we're talking about an empire. So, this is a quick message today. I hope this message helps. Next time you get with your family, I want you to really think about it. And understand, put your ego aside. Don't be condescending, especially if you have more experience and more knowledge in a particular subject when it comes to business acumen, things of that nature. Don't talk down to people, because more than likely they'll turn you off. But if there's an opportunity here for real wealth, real riches, and you can do it with your family, there's nothing more powerful. That's making big moves. So, like I said, like, share, definitely subscribe to the channel. Hope this message helps today. Love you all, friends. Enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your time. But don't let the time pass by without pushing forward a real agenda and something that can actually build something for your entire family. Hope this message helps. Have a good one. This is Big Red Leads.